This is Irene with SaugaTalks. Hello and welcome. Welcome everyone here today. I am very excited to meet with Brett Gould today. So Brett is a digital transformation expert. That's why I asked, and Brett kindly agreed to take part in SaugaTalks because he is a CMO and co-founder of Intelligence Factory. And we will be talking a lot about digital business, digital transformation. We'll talk a lot about AI, and we'll talk about status of tech and business today. Welcome, Brett.
Thank you, Irene. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Pleasure is all mine. So absolutely everyone's busy trying to reinvent the new strategies and acting on those new strategies as we speak. One of my previous speakers mentioned that we're building airplane right now as we fly it. So what's your take on the state of business and people's minds at the moment, Brett?
That's actually a really great metaphor because what has happened is for years, the people that have been working in the intelligence factory, as well as people that have been working in digital transformation, have been trying to put the word of caution out that there is a change in the business world, which is referred to as the fourth industrial revolution. And this is going to require absolute change and shifts of how business is conducted, how businesses work, how they interact and engage with their employees as well as their customers, and how they view their own business processes and even their competition. And so for many years, we've been discussing this with business leaders, and up until this year, there was nothing too pressing unless you were in certain industries like retail where it was getting disrupted by companies like Amazon. But with COVID, the entire world has shifted, and suddenly everyone has realized that digital transformation really is something that they really need to do, as they've had to shift their business in many cases to completely online and digital-based systems.
Absolutely, because if that was a long kind of planned initiative, because I was working for big vendor for many years, right? I was an IBMer, and we were talking about for a long time how digital transformation is a must do. You will be behind if you're not doing it, right? And
right.
Big companies, smaller companies, right, try and push this agenda, but unless customers are really ready or unless they're pressed by circumstances, and I wish it would be different circumstances, not like this one, right?
Right.
We definitely see shifts to digital business. So what does it mean, Brett, digital business for the companies today?
Well, that's an important question. Before we go there, I do want to say that I think it's important to realize that a lot of people are looking at this moment in history and saying, how could we have seen this coming? Obviously, COVID is a disaster. It's not a good thing, and certainly digital transformation is not something that should be looked at as profiteering from it or taking advantage of the opportunity. Instead, it is a core underlying methodology of business that just so happens to be vital in now what is the post-COVID world. So with digital business, you're looking at taking a fresh look at how your business conducts business. It really starts with the vision of the leadership first. A lot of people talk about digital transformation, and they don't understand what it means. It's kind of a buzzword, kind of like artificial intelligence. It's thrown around a lot, and there's a lot of misunderstanding. So it's best to start with what it is and what it isn't. The first thing is it does start with the vision of a leader. It starts with the CEO and goes down from there. And the CEO has to realize and understand what digital transformation means and what digital business means before they can come up with some sort of vision for their organization. But that vision will come in part from understanding the organization's data. Whether or not they have purposely been collecting and organizing their data through the years, or if it's just something that they have access to through phone records or whatever forms of data a company has, they do have data, and the opportunities to gather additional data exist. It's just a question of whether or not they have been putting an effort towards that. The importance of the data in this new model of business is that this is where your decision making comes from. If you're not using your data to make decisions and to make purchases and plans, you're literally just guessing. And yes, that is the way it's been going for years. That's the way business has been. You've been doing things, and they have words like forecasting and, fancy words, so it doesn't sound too random and freak out the shareholders. But really, it's educated guesses that have been taking place in most business decisions. Now, with the availability of data as well as tools that you can use to interpret that data, you can actually have some very strong forecasting tools. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is designed to be able to provide you with trends and forecasting. And obviously it doesn't see the future, but it gives you an insight into what may happen as you're going forward. Now, the interesting thing is understanding that nobody knew COVID was going to come. There have been some research that was done on pandemics, but no one knew what that would look like. And so it's not possible for anyone to have really truly prepared for COVID. That being said, there are some organizations that people have looked at and said, well, it's almost like they were prepared for this because they've made the transition from prior to COVID to now so smoothly that it almost seemed like they knew it was coming. And the answer is on those, that's just because they had already begun a digital transformation. A digital transformation is not an end-to-end process. It doesn't start and then end one day. It is an ongoing state of business. It's a transformation in the way business is conducted. And so you have your data, you have your vision from your corporate leader. The very next thing is not throwing technology into the mix. It's engaging your employees, your people. And this is where a lot of organizations really have missed the mark. They've misunderstood that your organization is full of subject matter experts, SMEs or SMEs, whatever you want to call them. They are the subject matter experts within their own area of knowledge, whether they're answering phone calls from customers or they're doing data entry, or maybe they're higher up in the organization and they're a manager. They know their particular area of business better than anyone else. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of ego in business through the years, and people get into executive roles and they think that means that they're above everyone else, though structurally they might be, but as a person, they're not. And the insights that you can get from people that work in your organization are huge. And that's why you've got a TV show like Undercover Boss, where the executives go and see what it's like to work at the company, but really what they're doing is they're getting insight from their employees. And the show goes off in its own little direction, but what that is listening to your employees, which is a huge part of digital transformation. It's respecting and realizing that you have people that are actually very smart and very good at their jobs in your company, and you want to take advantage